Hey Jeff, it's Alex here. Just taking a look at your week 4 Luxo lamp submission, which looks nice. Yeah, good stuff. Now the only thing with it, overall, I'd say your propulsion isn't quite working because it feels like he's kind of being blown along by a gust of wind. So the physics aren't quite there. What you need really is more of a stretch in order to justify this big amount of motion that he's got in the middle of the cycle. So it's feeling slightly, it almost feels like he picks himself up and then suddenly a gust of wind comes along and blows him across the screen. So, and that'll be basically, that'll be in the, actually, hold on, I'll just turn off select surface objects and go to show none, show polygons, show NURB surfaces, and show NURBS curves there. And then I'll do the same thing here. I'll just turn on show show NURBS curves there. So if I hit W and go to move, now you're starting at frame 101, which is great, but we can type in 101 down here as well, might as well. And so now the lamp lifts up here, but it suddenly picks up speed in this section here, and so we'll see that in this curve here. So I think basically what we want to do really is have it travel less far. I wonder if there's a version where we've just got one hop, because you've actually sent me 5 different Maya files, and I'm not entirely sure which one to look at. Let's see here. That looks like, oh, okay, so this is your cycle. All right, that's good. So let's take a look at that one. Let's just hit F there. And so that's your cycle. Yeah, I think it's just jumping too far. I think that's your only problem, really. So I would just take your translate Z curve, and I think it's fine. Then it's here. It all gets a little bit too far. So I would just grab these curves and just have him just not go as far. Now, of course, that means we're going to have to do the same thing with the head of the lamp. So we're going to have to move everything back to make it just travel a bit less far. Let's adjust that one now. And okay, and now we should be in pretty decent shape. Let's see what that does. Okay, that's feeling more believable. I'm buying that now. I'm happier now with that motion. Wait a minute. $140. Okay, so it's not actually looping now. Let's just set that to 101 there. If I hit spacebar, should get. Actually, let me just turn off select surface object so I don't select any geometry by mistake. Hit A, and we've got 101 to 141. That's our total cycle, but actually, do you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the thing on the world mover for now. Okay, great. So that's good. Okay, so what we needed to do on the world mover was probably just have it travel less distance, I think. Yeah, let's do this in the orthographic side view. Yeah. Okay, great. So we just want to make sure that those two poses are the same. And of course they're not, but if I move this head, show none, show polygons, show NURBS surfaces, show NURBS curves. That's all I need in the frame. So let's just try and get these back to the same point roughly. Don't need to be completely exact, it's only an exercise. But yeah, now it feels more sluggish, but it feels more realistic. So I think that's your only problem there. You just had the lamp jumping too far. And that feels much more realistic. Okay, good stuff. So now here's another one. And this one doesn't seem to have any animation in it. No need. You don't feel like you have to send me every Maya file you've worked on. I would just send me Obviously with the LampHop thing it's a bit different because there are several stages to the exercise, but it's probably best to send me just a couple of versions. You don't need to send me all of them. So I'll close that one out. And then here is your... okay, now this is really funny. Yeah, no, I really like this one. And I've actually uploaded I've already uploaded it to the site because I thought that was a really nice example. Yeah, good stuff. So you've actually made the hop shorter here and it feels much better. And you've put in a nice set there, which is also great. You've got an awful lot of layers here. I think you could probably put most of the geometry, frankly, on one layer. I'll just go to Window Outliner. Yeah, you've got your set group, excellent. So what I would do is I'd probably put the maybe props chair. Yeah, set, that could be separate. So why don't we let's put... I'm going to create a new layer here, and I'm going to call it All Geo, just so that there's one button where we can turn everything off. And I'm going to go right click, add selected objects, and I'm also going to go to the outliner, grab the chair group, and put that in All Geo as well, so that I've got one thing where I can just turn everything off, because it's sometimes useful to do that. Now if I go to show none, show polygons, show NURBS curves, show NURBS surfaces, whoops, show NURBS surfaces, show NURBS curves, now I've got everything in view. Now what you've done here is really nice, and I like it. He kind of looks around, he sees the chair coming, and then he does this nice thing. Now the only thing is I would keep him moving up a little bit. You know, you've got a slight cartoon physics thing here, which is that I think you could just... Yeah. So what I would do is just have him continuing to go up there. Something like that. Whoops. Yeah, or you could even, if you wanted to, go up one. Let's just... wait a minute, let's just look at what's happening here. 4,500. What's that? What's going on there? What's your last frame? Your last frame is 311. Hit A in the graph editor. Come on, matey. 311. Okay, that's your last frame. So your last frame here should also be 311, and that should be 311. Otherwise, you're just using up a bunch of space in the graph editor you don't need. Okay, 101. That's where we're starting. Okay, so 101 to 311. Okay, cool. So now what we want to do is, I'll just shorten this so that we're looking a bit more closely at where we are. Now, what I'm going to suggest we do is actually pull the lamp up a little bit here and then drop it down a little bit there, so we're actually adding a little bit of a vibrate to it as it kind of goes up. And I know you've got the rotation on it, but I think this will be fun. Let's see if that works. Yeah, okay. So that, I think that's slightly better. And you're sort of getting into a kind of anticipation position here, where you're kind of getting ready for the big drop. Whoops. So let's just leave it up for now. And where's your contact? There's your... so maybe that should be your contact. Oh, yeah, let's turn on the geo again. So contact there, and then down. You'll get more of a compression there. Yeah, there we go. That's working nicer. So, and then I think it makes a little bit more sense. Now the only other thing that isn't quite working, great, you've locked off your camera, that's good, is I think you've got a slight problem with the lamp kind of moving backwards as it falls backwards, if you see what I mean. So in this section here, it's moving to screen right, and I don't know how it would do that, because I think it would actually just fall at this stage. If you think of Wile E. Coyote, think of your cartoon physics, think of Wile E. Coyote, he jumps off, runs off the edge of the cliff. When he falls, he's going to go straight down. So what you've got is you've got the lamp actually falling sideways, which is a little weird. So I think what we want to do is pull it back in Z. I think it's Z. You've got slightly two axes going on here, just slightly annoying. Or is it one? Let's try the translate X. Yeah, so I would pull all of this back so that it doesn't, so that the lamp doesn't actually fall too far backwards. Or indeed, frankly, at all. That's what I would do. Maybe if it does fall backwards, it doesn't fall far backwards. Let's see what that looks like. Every time you make a change, you always want to test it really quickly. Yeah, okay. I'm buying that a little bit more. I still think there's still something weird about it. Let's grab that head and let's take that. Okay, so we got the same thing going on with the head. So there with the head, I'd pull the head back a little bit as well. And just make sure that the head also isn't drifting too far backwards, because it just starts to feel a little bit unrealistic. I know the whole thing is unrealistic anyway, but it's about your cartoon physics. Yeah, good. Nice one. Okay, now I think we could go even further back. Oops. Okay, something like that. And then maybe as the head falls, we could have a little bit of a rotation up. And have it settle. Something like that. How about that? Yeah, so just so that there's a little bit of kind of, yeah, even there. I think we want that even more up. And there. Still more up. And there, let's soften that a little bit. Whoops. Okay. Actually, I kind of like it the way you had it before. Now I've put in too much, damn it. It was nicer the way you had it before, it was more snappy, and I have softened it too much. There we go, that's alright. Yeah, good. Okay, great. So that's roughly what I would do. I like the chair thing, I think that's really funny. And I actually put it up on the site under the one of the week 4 videos. But what I would do actually is I would make these tweaks, and then I would go ahead and upload a new version, because I think you're almost there with a really, really nice, funny piece. The other thing you could do if you want to make it even funnier is just populate your little universe here with a few more knickknacks. You know, office desks are never tidy, except when they're completely new. They're very rarely tidy. There's usually shit everywhere. And you can go to Turbo Squid and get a whole bunch of free stuff, you know, notepads and coffee cups and all the rest of the nonsense of office life. That's really great work, Jeff. I'm really pleased with that. That bodes really well for the future. Really, really nice work. Good stuff.